Sci-fi life.
No offense. 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 Drew, I need you to hear this. Tell me what you think of this shit right here.
Nah, let's go. Let's listen. Can you tell me who it is, or I gotta wait?
Of course, no. This is my guy Boo Banger right here. It's called Proud of Me.
I asked for chances, and you gave me chances. No, I don't have the answers.
Got a wow. Tell me
But
if
you
you
got
fuck.
all the questions. I gave you my heart, and you left it on the sheets.
Tell me if this is radio ready. You know what I'm saying?
So far, so good.
Oh, Rocco, what's happening?
And the light ain't gonna let go the key.
I thought that was good me.
All this pain in my heart, it's got a heart on me. I can't stop now where I'm going, not far from me.
Okay.
Like, don't be stressed now, I hope you're proud of me. I earned my spot and the light ain't gonna let go the key.
Hey, do me a favor.
All this pain in my heart, it's got a heart for me. I can't stop now where I'm going.
I go a little bit to Rocco. Turn a little bit to Rocco. No, just
Like,
turn.
don't
There
be
you go.
stressed
Perfect.
now, just be proud of me.
Got a little bounce?
Just be
Smooth.
proud
Yeah,
of me.
definitely. Even on the intro,
Uh-huh.
hard.
Just be
So I'm
proud.
gonna let it rock. It's a short, so we're gonna let it rock.
It's a vibe.
Just be proud.
Shout out my guy Boo Banger.
Just be proud of me.
Where's Boo Banger from?
He's from out here. Stand shit.
From the
Stand
island.
shit, yeah.
And you gave me chances. No, I don't have the answers, but you got all the questions. I gave you my heart, and you left it on the sheets.
Boo Banger's fire. I know you.
No, I feel like I've heard Boo Banger before.
If you, because you don't see black,
Of course.
so then you.
Then I
must
definitely,
see-
then I
you
know.
Boo
Then I,
Banger.
because when you said Boo Banger, I'm like,
That's a
oh,
whole fact.
I feel like I know Boo Banger.
Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo. We are live. We finally here. Technical difficulties at the movement space. This is Reflex Radio. Of course, my name is Joe Parker. No offense to my left. Actually, I got to give you a proper introduction. But over to my left, my partner Rocco, as always. AR Yum in the background.
I feel like Rocco should slide in a little. I just
A
feel
little
like
bit,
Am I out of the
yeah, a
picture?
little
My fault,
distant.
my
Like,
fault,
yeah,
my
He
fault.
likes to play the
Listen,
background.
I ain't
you know
want
what I'm
nah, pull up, Rock, pull up.
Yeah, but listen, all right, before we get started, of course, go to dope.com, DOUGHP, Joe Parker 5 on the checkout. Get yourself a discount. I support this brand because they support drug addiction recovery, all that good shit, domestic abuse recovery, all that good shit. Joe Parker 5 on the checkout. Get yourself something good to eat, organic. Yeah. But shout out to demographics, of course, Germany, US, of course, France, Canada. Where else we have, Rocco? Belgium this month.
Belgium.
Yeah. But
Wait, you shouting all these places out? Why? Because
well, what
they're
happens?
streaming?
Well, yeah, when we stream, I distribute to Spotify, Apple, all that shit.
Got
and then the demographic report comes back that's where we had it.
Got it.
So I got to show you when it comes back because this episode is gonna be a big episode.
Nah, I love everything you just shouted out.
I appreciate it, bro. So, all right, we already started at your space, so we're gonna tell the people, things didn't work out technically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the cameras and all that didn't work out, but we here.
But first
So-
off, let me say I appreciate y'all even like you do your show here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You invited me to the show, but you actually came to my spot. We
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to make it work,
Yeah, we almost.
but I
got it.
respect it. Like I appreciate y'all even coming.
I appreciate you,
to
bro.
do
You had
it.
us at your space. And
Fire
the fact you
space.
pull up over here is fucking crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for that. But let me give you an introduction. I feel like one of the most down to earth, because you're a celeb, you know what I'm saying? One of the most down to earth, personable, somebody that the young generation looks up to for breaking music. You're not weird with it when people speak to you. You talk back. you follow back. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
like to give you a lot of credit for that because a lot of these DJs and radio personalities, they don't do what you do.
Nah.
And I just want to salute you, man. Drewski's
Thank
in the
you.
building with us. You know what I'm saying? That's you a
Yes,
staple
sir.
out here in terms
Yes,
of breaking
sir.
new artists. So I just want to tell you I appreciate you for pulling up here. You know our little radio station we got going on over here, but I appreciate you for being here with us and shit. What's going on with you though? How was your week and all that shit? Before we
There's
get
a
into
lot
it.
going on. You see, you was at my spot
It's a
for
fact.
maybe an hour, and you see what we go through, right?
It's a
So
fact.
that's almost like every day where I have artists pull up, we'll do
Mhm.
interviews.
Yeah.
On top of that, when you walked in the building, I was recording for Hot 97.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So every day is something new, but we stay working, we stay consistent, and,
Yeah.
and you know, always looking for the next artist to break, the next records to break. At the same time, working on our own music.
Mhm.
So I just dropped the album maybe 6 months ago called "Seat at the
Seat at
Table."
the table.
Right. But it's 2022, so we right back at it, cooking up, getting in the studio, grabbing some of the newer artists that we haven't worked with yet,
Mhm.
that we feel like is up next. You're probably gonna ask later on who's those artists. We can talk
we
about
got
that.
a lot. Mhm.
But it's
Got a
just
lot
you
of
know,
questions.
always working.
Yeah, nah, salute you, bro. All right, so let's rewind first, right? Where's Drewski from? I feel like everybody just knows you as Drewski.
Right.
Where's Drewski actually from?
It's funny because there's sometimes I'll be out, people think I'm actually from Staten Island, right?
Mhm.
Because I show a lot of love to Staten Island. But then I could be in Brooklyn, they think I'm from Brooklyn because I'm
Mhm.
so it's crazy. But I'm from Jersey.
Mhm. Oh no shit.
Probably
Makes
8.
sense,
I
then.
think it's like 8 minutes from here in
Mhm.
Elizabeth.
Salute.
Born and raised in
Shout out
Elizabeth,
Jersey.
New Jersey.
Mhm.
My whole life, you know what I'm saying? I went to Elizabeth High School, graduated from Elizabeth High School, and still live in Jersey today.
Yeah.
My studio's in Jersey,
Mhm.
but because
Fire
I'm
studio, by
because
the
I'm
way.
really
Yes, sir.
outside,
Mhm.
people don't even really know where I'm from.
That's
But
a
I
fact.
like it like that
Mhm.
because there's a lot of, you know, especially in the DJ game, you get kind of pigeon-toed into like wherever you're from, that's where you're known. You know what I'm saying? That's where you
Yeah.
get booked at.
Yeah.
Where
fact.
me, I'm booked everywhere. I could go anywhere, any hood, any state, any city, any town, and get booked. It's like, oh, I'm not just popping in Jersey.
I feel like the fact that I didn't know you was from Jersey, you kind of get that mystique where it's
Mm.
like I can't put you somewhere like
Right.
where we're from Staten Island. Like I don't feel like I look like or act like a Staten Island nigga, but there's for people from here, we be like, yo, he's a Staten Islander, and you kind of get put in a box. So it's fire that. And I always wondered, I was like, yo, Juice got a lot of shit in Jersey. Like,
If you had to
guess,
guess, what would you have thought? Before I told you, I should have had to guess.
I probably would have said the city or some shit.
Like Manhattan.
Yeah,
Just
like you
some
give me a Manhattan vibe.
Generic. It's super
But that's because you be active in the city though.
right.
So I probably would have guessed the city. But now that you say Jersey, I could be like, all right, I can see that a little bit. Maybe not Elizabeth. Yeah, I guess so. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where I would have thought you was from.
Right.
Except for the city. The city probably would have been the only one I would have thought. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you
perfect.
give me
I
that
like
city
it like
vibe.
that.
Yeah, nah, even like your demeanor and shit like that, you give a city
Yeah.
vibe. But you active in the
Same
city.
thing?
So.
Yeah, I would have said
Like
the city.
Harlem or
I'd have said
like-
Harlem actually.
You said
I'd have said
Harlem?
Harlem, yeah. He
I would have
seemed
said like Lower East Side
he
or
seemed
something like
I'd have
that,
said
where it
Harlem,
goes on
probably.
at. You know what I'm saying? Like Juicy like he be in the mix though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Harlem.
Everywhere you
That's
mention,
why-
I'm there. Like it don't matter.
You know what? You're right though. Because
Wherever
Harlem
you think
today
I'm
ain't
from, I'm
Harlem
from.
15, 20 years ago. So yeah, Harlem City, I could see that.
Even 15 years
But
ago,
he
I
would
was
have
in
been there.
Harlem.
But
But
he
he
been
good though. But like,
though.
because remember, like when you speak to him, you be like, yo, he's a certain type of person. Like he's. But if you look at him, you don't see Elizabeth
Yeah.
or Harlem. Like
Right,
you gotta
right.
speak to you. You know what I'm saying? And you get to know you a little bit more. Like you a
oh,
person-
okay, now.
Yeah, like 'cause
Yeah.
you could tell like certain people like you. I never look at you and be like, yo, he's trying to fit in the culture. Like you are the culture. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? And you be outside. You be outside in the trenches with artists that's from outside in the trenches. Like you
Mhm.
show love and shit like that. But to keep where we at in the past, what was your introduction to music? Like who's like some of your favorite artists growing up?
For me, it was like as a little kid, I
Mhm.
just used to listen to like what my older brother or cousins would listen to. So it would still be the
Shout out
Hoves.
Fresh.
Yeah. Like Hove and Nas, of
Mhm.
course. Then you had the whole Locks era, and then Dipset.
Factual.
But it was heavy like New York artists
Mhm.
because at that time, all the hottest artists was from New York. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even
Mhm.
Big, even you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. So it was like, and it's crazy because when I was maybe like 7, I don't even know. I should have showed you in my office. It's a contract from Ritz Theater in Elizabeth that my pops, who had nothing to do with music. He was never into music. He did
Mhm.
like real estate.
Yeah.
He had a couple extra dollars trying to flip it. He asked my brother, "Who's your favorite rapper?" He said Biggie Smalls at the time. He was super new. Like the album wasn't even out yet. he was doing a promo run.
Yeah.
So you know when an artist is new, they're doing a promo run, the price is a little cheaper.
Mhm.
So my dad did a show at Ritz Theater with Biggie Smalls, and I was just too young. I never was able to go, but Fresh was there, like you know, pictures and everything. And I think just being a little kid and seeing how cool that was, it was definitely an influence on the route I chose. But yeah, I just listened to whatever like the older cousins and my brother was playing at that time.
Shout out to your pops, because you didn't even realize that somebody that great was just going to not be here today and shit like that. So you look back like, damn, I actually got to. That's fire.
I ain't get to. I from the outside, I was able to see what they was doing. But Fresh, my pops, they was there. They was with Big. They was with Busta Rhymes at the time, and Little Kim was there before she was lit. So just hearing the stories, I'm like, oh, this is fire. Like,
how old were you around?
I don't remember. I think it was like in 95 or 95. So 9 years old, 8 years old. I gotta do the math. But it was definitely, I was too young to even go to like the show.
This is fire because rarely you get to interview the person that's usually interviewing. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't get to talk to Drew. Drew does all the question asking and shit like this. So for the people, they get to actually get to know you. But what made you want to DJ?
Just my love for music, and even as like a kid in school, amongst my friends and peers, I was always like the leader. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, how can I mix the two? And I love music. I can't rap. I knew that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't dance. So I was like, oh, I feel like the DJ kind of controls the room in a sense, right? And you're held on, like, you're positioned on a pedestal. Like you kind of lead in the room. Yeah. And I just felt like my leader traits mixed with my love for music would make a great DJ, but I didn't know it could be a career. I just like, oh, that's cool. I think I could be a DJ. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, the same guys on the radio, they turn this into a career. It's not a hobby. Like they do this to make a living. But that was later on. I might have been like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? A young teenager at that time where I realized, oh, Mr. C and Funk Flex and DJ Enough, this is their job. Like, and I was like, oh, if they could do it, I could definitely do it. Like,
that was actually gonna be my next question. Like, who was like in terms of like inspirations and shit like that? Who was you watching growing up? Like, yo, if they doing it, like you said,
it was the radio DJs because they were so popular. You know what I'm saying? It was so big. Like you hear them, in the car, you with your family, you in the car, you're like, wow, you didn't even know what they looked like at the time. Yeah, you just hear the voices. So it created a mystique too, where you wanted to see who that person was. Yeah. You hear Angie Martinez every day. I had no clue what she looked like at first.
That's crazy. I never knew what Funk Flex looked like.
Me too. Exactly.
Me too. I give you a story once. I had called in one time. I felt like I never got through the Hot 97 when I was younger. And at one time, Funk Flex was spinning or whatever, and I got through. And I said, yo, I was stuck because I didn't expect him to answer the phone or whatever. So I'm like, this is Flex. He was like, yeah, this Flex, shorty, what's going on? And I was like, I don't even know what I called for now, bro. But he answered the phone, and I'm like, yo, bro, it's crazy how, like, when you actually reach radio level, how you feel. Like, yo, bro, this is really somebody that I listen to every day. And especially, like, when I, because I make music, too. So, like, when I pulled up on you that time when we was at Hot 97, it's like, when I could hear myself on the radio, it's like, bro, this is what we grew up wanting to do. You know what I'm saying? Which I give you credit, because this is what you do for a lot of artists that, bro, like, that Hot 97 stamp is what a lot of people, like, bucket list shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a dream. Even as a DJ, to be on Hot 97 is like being drafted to the NFL or the NBA. As a DJ, it doesn't get any bigger than that. So it's like once you in the league, now you gotta prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so what was so you saying around like, what was like your age around when you got your first DJ deck?
I had like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like
turntables or.
Yeah, they were turntables, but it was like today I couldn't play on it. You know what I'm saying? It was just more like practice, but probably like 14, you know what I'm saying? When I got my own stuff, and then, you as time changes, the equipment changed too. So, you have to adapt to that too. So when I really started playing in the clubs, it was like CD era, like playing off CDs, but that didn't last too long. You know what I'm saying?
DJ'd a little bit, and I did the CDJ shit, and I never forget I had an American DJ one, and everybody was like, "Yo, get a Gemini."
Right.
Gemini was a little bit in price, but I got the American DJ shit, and I was killing with that shit. But then you had I felt like I was spoiled at the time, because now when you look at it, you had niggas who carry crates, and then here we go with the CD book. so it's like scaled down.
Right.
And then now we look at it as you don't need shit. You just need
your laptop.
You know what I'm saying? Did
But
you ever
the
see
CD era didn't last too long. It went from vinyl, you know what I'm saying, straight
quick.
to the.
What was your favorite ever?
As far as what, like,
was it turntables? Was it CDs, or was it what we
know?
know?
No, turntables. I wasn't really doing anything. I had like a couple records. I didn't have like a whole collection.
So
I wouldn't even
count
that.
Era.
No, I'm that lasted like short for me, and then it was straight to Serato laptop.
Yeah. So do you think it's too easy now to be a DJ?
Too easy to play music, to be a DJ is different.
Because you gotta have an ear for like, I don't know, man. Being a DJ, you gotta have like an ear for a lot of music,
right?
Like a lot of sounds and stuff like that. Right?
A lot of like art, art and talent is easy. Like it's easy to be a rapper. It's easy to be a singer with all the plugins, and you could tweak your voice and sound good. Rappers could do it from their crib. It's easy to do radio shows now. You know what I'm saying? It's easy
for everything from the house. Now.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah, now that's
but
a fact.
You still, to really do it, you still need that talent. So
now, Jay, if you got any questions at any time,
I don't want to go too far ahead of of the story, but I just want to know, like, when did you know, like, all right, I'm kind of lit. Like,
that's a fact.
Because I like you don't seem like a you're not a cocky dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you a real humble dude, but like, is there a point where you was like, you know what, I'm all right at this
nah, I never
thing here.
I never knew like I was lit, like a lit DJ, right?
Right.
It was just like, because even in school, and it's not it's humbly saying, like, I was always lit. I'm always like, as a kid in school, I was lit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you ask people I went to school with, they're like, yeah, Drewski was always lit. I'm a white kid in 8th grade with cornrows. Like, you gotta feel somewhat lit to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all of the coaches.
Yeah, but you don't think about it. When you lit, you just do lit things. And to me, that was lit. So it was like, I always, you know what I'm saying? I always felt lit. So it was never like going from not being lit to, oh, now I'm lit.
Yeah.
We see that happen a lot, though. You see artists that never got any attention and they become stars, and you like, oh, they kind of weirdos.
Did you always
That's a fact.
Did you always have that, like, that confidence that you could you know what I'm saying, that you get into like the game and be where you are now?
Yeah. Always.
You always had that
like,
confidence, like,
it was always instilled in me, and that probably came from my pops, who kind of carried himself at a high level.
Okay.
Just even if he was faking it, we didn't know.
Right.
So like, oh, we gotta be lit. Like, dad pulling up in the Porsche, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though we didn't live with him, like, you know what I'm saying? My parents were divorced, whatever, and he would pick us up on the weekends. But he was pulling up in a Porsche, pulling up in a Jaguar. And he was like, as a little kid in Elizabeth, and you live across the street from the projects, like, all the kids is coming over, like, oh, yo, his dad got a Jaguar. So he kind of set like a good example.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out, but get you a Jaguar in a sense.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, I get you.
You could tell, like, the way, like you said, the way you carry yourself, it never came across as like cocky. Like, you could tell, like, your energy, which is why I guess you accepted everywhere, because you never come off like a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we did the brunch, like, yo, so and so was the time set. You stayed well after we even finished the event. Like, like, that shit is genuine. You know what I'm saying? That's why I guess you never came off as like no celebrity asshole and nothing like that. You down to earth as fuck. So,
right.
Like, I guess that's why people fuck with you like that.
And it's I can understand why people switch up too, because when you're in a certain position, you could get caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a fact.
When you see someone acting funny, or you probably met someone 10 years ago and, oh, they got a record deal now, I understand it, because you could get caught up in it. But it was always like a challenge for me to remain humble. Yeah. Now, some people might say, yo, that could hurt you. Like, you too down to earth, you too cool. You know what I'm saying? Some people look at it like that, but they still don't change me. Like, you could get more opportunities, or people will respect you more if you wasn't so accessible. That's how some people think, right?
That's what I just posted recently.
Right? Like, if you're not so accessible, but I look at it like, yo, if I'm gonna be lit, I'm gonna be lit no matter what.
In terms of like where you from, right? Because I speak about shit like this with AR all the time. Like, hometown support. Did you have that support? Like, where you from?
Yeah, of course. Especially in Elizabeth.
That's big. Having hometown support kind of sways your outlook on shit.
But you gotta create it. Like, you can't. People not gonna support you if you don't show them, like, yo, I supported myself. Whatever I had to do, flyers, stapling flyers on poles and inviting people personally to parties. Then at a certain point, I'm doing like my own events, doing charity events. So they're like, oh, he really committed to this. Like, we're gonna support.
You know what? I'm gonna ask you that. Matter of fact, in terms of like, because where we come from, like we look at shit as like crab in the barrel mentality, right? Like, what would you say to somebody, like even myself, or like somebody like, yeah, if we feel like the support is not there, like you just broke down what support, like give like your top 3 ways that you would go on to support from your hometown. Like, what's the top 3 you would suggest an artist
for me
to do?
or for artists? Is one, already take that mentality out of your mind. The whole nobody supports, right? Because if that's always in your mind, that's the type of energy you're putting out there. That's what you're gonna get back. So you got to take that out. Like, who cares? Like, the second thing is focus on the people that do support. A lot of times you might have 10 people that support you and 100 that don't, and you're so focused on the 100 that don't. What about them 10 that was supporting you?
Right.
Show that love back. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Show them that you appreciate it, because those are your front line. You know what I'm saying? So if your front line is solid and holding you down, they're gonna help as an artist promote your music, promote whatever you got going on. If I came up here and I feel like there's an artist that I rock with, I'm gonna tell you, yo, Joe, you gotta play this artist. Same way we opened the show with somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I could hear it.
Yeah.
Because there's a relationship there. So you gotta focus on the supporters.
That's a fact.
And I'll just stay consistent. Like, a lot of times people feel like, yo, I've been working for 2 years, nobody's streaming my music, nobody support. There's artists that have been working way longer than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, there's no time to it. Like, you don't know when you're gonna. So stay consistent, and definitely I see a lot of times like people focus on the negative. Like, I even tell my wife sometimes, like, she'll respond to a negative comment. I'm like, yo, you just got 20 positive comments, and the one person you respond to is the one that says something nasty.
You know, I think I'm a victim of that. Because it's like, you be feeling like it's the audacity sometimes. Like, bro, for real, like this, you waited like like I open a boxing gym or whatever, and I sit there and I'm like, yo, bro, y'all rather pay Planet Fitness to not do shit than I be like, you know what? Why do I focus on the negative shit?
Right.
Like, it's 100%. You right. I gotta stop doing that shit myself.
It gets you nowhere though. Like, it's not
sometimes it's hard to avoid though. I'd be like, damn, son, like, you just be reading shit. So I get it, but that's valuable information. I feel like every artist, if you heard that shit, including myself, like, take heed to that, because it's really not worth it. The energy is, you just wasting energy at the end of the day.
And the way I look at it too, I'm like, all right, cool. What is Planet Fitness doing that I'm not? Why everyone's rocking with
That's
them?
a fact.
I'm saying that's when I start peeping. Like, what is it about Planet Fitness that everybody like? That because now I got to do it or do it better.
You think it's an addiction to brands?
Well, that's just
the biggest part of it. Huh?
Psychological, like,
you got to figure out what it is to take you away from that.
Right. What are you offering that Planet Fitness isn't, that they can't get at Planet Fitness?
True. And find a way to put that out there type shit.
Right.
All right. I want to stay in the beginning stages too, because I want to ask, what's your first gig? You remember your first gig? Like, what's the first place you played? I'm
trying to think of some of like the earlier ones. Of course, they're always like, you know, house parties or family baby showers and stuff like that. But like gig with strangers, like people paying to get in.
Yeah, your first paid gig.
It was like a little hall that was attached to a bowling alley in Jersey. And they booked me like probably like $100, and I had to bring all my shit and everything. But it was like one of those type of parties, like attached to a bowling alley in a hall. But it didn't matter because we still were having fun. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I would still go there today if it's not there no more. But if it was not for $100, but we would still go there to DJ. You know, just if there's a vibe there, then we there. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But that was one of the first ones. But it was still fun. Like, I still have fun.
Was DJ Drewski your first name, or did you have some other shit?
Nah, no other DJ name.
Nah, because usually somebody got some wild shit.
Nah, it was never, before DJing, they would call me like A Money, because I was really like always hustling. I always even as a kid, I have a couple dollars on me, so it was like A Money, because my real name was Andrews. They just A Money. Yeah. But I wasn't like DJing like for real yet. I wasn't doing clubs and nothing. This is when I first started getting the equipment.
That's smart to go with your actual name, because then you be stuck with some wild shit. Like that's why Will Smith said I'm gonna go with Will Smith, because if you call me some other shit, I'm gonna be stuck in that character. So that's fire that you did that.
Yeah, it was just Drew, and then once I started getting around like DJ Cypher Sounds, and he was always like the funny guy, so he just started adding the ski to it.
Yeah.
And it stuck, and then people just like Drewski, like he would say it on the radio, that series, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it just stuck. So
That's
like,
fire.
let's go.
You come up in an era when mixtape was a thing. Like, would you ever part of the mixtape circuit if they don't know out there? I don't.
No.
Yeah,
I
like you never
wouldn't-
got into that.
Not like producing records or like how Clue would do.
Yeah.
Clue records.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was too young at that time. Like, but I was paying attention and listening. That's why
definitely a consumer. Though.
the artwork to my first official like album.
I just paid it. Yo, when we was at the space, I didn't realize that all the names on.
Yeah, it's all DJs that were part of that. That
when
kind
you
of
see
influenced
iTunes,
me.
You see the little.
Yeah, you can't really read it.
Yeah, I didn't.
But that was the whole point. Is like kind of keep it low. If you know, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to find it, pull it up. But it was like all the DJs that were a part of that mixtape circuit that influenced me. That I remembered listening to.
Not to take away from anybody on that wall. But if you had to pick 3 that made you say this is what made me be the type of DJ I am today, what would be 3 of the names on that wall?
It's hard. I can't. That's why I would have put 3 on the album cover. I could. There was some I feel like I was calling other DJs like, yo, am I missing anybody? I so many I can't remember. But it was.
I'm gonna rephrase it then.
Okay.
Who was 3 DJs that was like shoulder to shoulder showing you how to get into the business then? Like who would
getting into the business? Cypher Sounds number 1. He was the first one to like let me in. You know what I'm saying? Mr. C, he did it in a weird way, like super aggressive, like, but at the same time I was learning a lot. And I can't say DJ, but as far as radio goes, like Angie Martinez and DJ Enough, like together, I learned a lot from them, like them putting me on, teaching me things. But I put them as one because for years I was with them every day.
Yeah. Oh, you was with Angie Enough, right? That's right.
Yeah, like for like 5 years, 6 years, I produced Angie's show. So just sitting next to her, as far as radio goes, I learned so much.
What was it? What was the feeling when you found out she was leaving? Like she was there forever. Like how'd y'all?
We didn't know to the day of, like when she announced it.
Oh wow!
I just started crying.
That's crazy.
She put it in her book, like the opening 2nd, 3rd page of her book that she put out. She says it in there, like the day she announced she was leaving and my reaction to it. Because I'm like, damn, like I just said, they held me down. So when the people that are holding you down in this business, like this is grimy. Like you don't know what people are gonna do.
Right.
I knew like she had my back, so it was like, damn, she's leaving. What's gonna happen to me? Like,
yeah, facts.
But
that's gonna be like kind of part of my next question. But I mean, if that's the answer, but like, how'd you end up on Hot 97? Like that was what was your like? Yo, look, we need you to come over here and do that. What's your foot through the door? How'd you get through the door?
It had been years before I got on actual radio. I was already working for Hot 97, right? So Cypher let me in. I was shooting and editing all his videos.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm DJing like clubs, opening up for him. Once Hot 97 knew I knew how to shoot and edit videos, they hired me for their video production side. So that I was shooting and editing all the interviews that Angie was doing, Flex was doing, you know what I'm saying? Like for Hot 97. At the same time, I'm still DJing outside, building my name, building my brand, boom, boom, all that's going on. And then I started like board opping, like engineering on the radio. And I was doing that for Sirius XM, doing it for Hot 97, still outside DJing, building my like crazy.
Yeah.
And then started producing Angie's show. But all those years while I'm doing everything else, that's why I keep saying I was building my name, building my brand, because I'm not on the radio. And when the new management team came in, I made my name so established. They thought I was already on the radio. So when she was like, well, what days are you on?
Right.
I'm like, I'm not on. She's like, what do you mean you're not on? Like, you don't want to be on? I'm like, of course I want to be on the radio. She's like, okay, cool. Like,
so you made it to the point that they had to put you on. Like you was buzzing to the point where it was like,
not had, but they heard of my name so much. They was confused. Shout out to TT Torres. She was confused why I wasn't on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But and then like you get your little weekend spots. Then I inherited like Cypher's position when he left. I took his shows. You know what I'm saying? And so everyone that put me on, I started inheriting their stuff. So now I'm on weekdays, new at 2 a.m. Overnight, Saturdays 3 p.m. to 7, and then Sundays. A couple years later, I created the new movement show where we play all the new artists and tri-state artists
definitely
only.
get into that because that's I feel like is that what on air that would be like what you pretty much known for these days. Like, yo, Drewski is definitely gonna be the one breaking music for the new artists.
Is that what you I don't want to say like you're calling, because I know your calling is kind of like, you know, like DJing, but do you feel like you're, you know, like kind of like a second calling now is to like break these new artists and kind of, you know?
Yeah, I actually love and enjoy doing it more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to see, you know, that we're in a position to change other people's, literally change people's lives. I've seen artists come from like straight from the projects to now superstar, multi-millionaire, record selling artists. So us watching like that right there is like, okay, cool, I'm doing something. Like, I get more joy out of that than just playing the most popular artists. Like,
I would think so. I
you
would
feel like
so.
You're making an impact.
You
know
feel
what
like
I'm saying?
you help, like to you know, to kind of help other people the same way you got help, you know, and kind of pay it forward in a way.
Exactly.
Plus, it's almost like it's expected. Like, we expect to hear the Drake come out of, like, you know what I'm saying, on radio. We want to hear the Drakes or the J. Cole. Like, we know that's gonna be played, but like when we get to your show, it's like we actually get to learn about people coming up and shit. Like, without your show, there is no Drakes and all of that, because they will never be that.
The next Drake, like who's the next Drake, and then that's the fun part too, is ciphering through everything and trying to stay ahead. Like, it keeps you as a DJ on your toes too. Like, okay, cool, yeah, I could keep playing Drake. We trying to find the next Drake. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun.
How long you been on air? Like, if you had like
on air?
Yeah.
Now I want to say, I don't even know the exact. I know I started on paper in like 08 at Hot 97. It really was like 2007. But on paperwork, it was 2008. Maybe now, like 7 years on air. 6 years. It's not. It was crazy. Yeah, like 6, 7 years. It might be like 6 years now.
Now, with all right, we all know there's competition in the city. So with past issues of other radio stations, how did you remain neutral? Because nobody ever, like, you would hear whatever personalities go back and forth, but it was never like with Drewski too. Like, how'd you just stay out the mix? Like, what is it? You don't got time for? Like, how'd you stay neutral for everything?
You just never, you know, get in it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Think about like, yo, bro, y'all doing too much. I have to say something. Or like, you just
no, because my thing is I'm always on defense, right? So if someone's gonna disrespect me or what I do, you know what I'm saying, then I have to get in it. You know what I'm saying? Someone's disrespecting your team. We never had to deal with that. Like, no one ever came after Hot 97 or Drewski. Right. They might be coming to one person. That's it. Like, come on. Like, we not getting into that.
I feel like the pettiness came from other stations where it's always shade and shit, and y'all always knew y'all spot. Like, it's like, why are we number one? What does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of like, your shots don't really hit nothing over here because we who we are.
That's what
already.
I'm saying. It never affected where I feel like I had to get in. Like, and you had nothing to do. You know, you might have a friend, he's beefing with someone, but you like, yo, that ain't nothing to do with me. Like, and you know your friend is a troublemaker too. So you like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of understand
the whole dynamic of the situation.
But you always ready to jump in if you have to, like,
just in case.
Right. So it's like, cool, I'm ready, but it never got to that point. And then like you said, in a city with all competition, that's normal. Like, that's gonna come with it.
It's kind of healthy in a sense. It keeps everybody listening, keeps all the energy going. Like I said, you're the most personable, you're the most accessible, I feel like, on your station. In terms of celebrities in general, I feel like you're the one that, like I said, you're the one that's going to reach back. Like, if we reach out, if you click in, like you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're shaking and moving, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying, not that difficult. Not easy, but not that difficult to get your attention because you're paying attention to the streets. Now, what do you say to, like, other DJs that feel like they don't need to listen to what's up and coming and shit like that? Like, you just take that, like, that's my shit now? Or, like, do you ever, like, encourage other, like, personalities? Like,
all the time. Like, even when I'm on the radio, I tell, like, I'll say it on the radio, like, DJs, if I play something tonight that you curious about, just hit me up. I'll send you the music. It's not, you know, I want to send it to you. Right. But, you know, in a city like this, there's a lot of egos. So DJs are just do their own research. Let me see, let me see what that is. Right. But it's whatever. If it helps the artist, if he's gonna play it or eventually find it, cool. But I'm always open to, yo, just hit me. I'll send you the music. That's what I do.
Right.
You know, but I don't. I want them to be in tune too, because if we're all working together, that's how we're gonna build the city up.
Yeah,
I can't do it on my own.
That's
Like,
a fact.
you know what I'm saying? Even I tell the artists too, like, we can get you started, but I can't do it on my own. So you need the support of other DJs and other people in the town to help get it going too.
Like, and we're gonna get into the Moving Monday shit, but how many times you got sent like some terribly mixed? Like, I can't believe it.
Every day.
Like,
right
who's
now,
your friends? Like, yo,
right
wow.
now, I could probably
easily. Right? So speaking of movement space, you had it booming over there. You was letting artists come perform and shit
for
like
free.
that for free.
Remember, for
Definitely
free.
Yeah, that was
definitely
a
for
time.
free.
People are not doing that
At all.
Nah.
At all. Shout out to you. You let me host. You let me host a couple of times.
Yeah,
You was the only person that I knew.
Yeah.
Person that was doing some shit like that.
Shout out to Sky too. Sky was in the building holding it down. What made you open that space, first of all? Like, was it meant to be for performing, or you just opened it like as a creative space?
Both. Like, I said, I wanted a space where people could perform, because you know, at the time, the showcases, I feel like were more like scammerish. Like, they just charging artists. The artists getting nothing out of it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, if we could create a space where they can perform, build their content. My whole thing at the time was like, yo, everything is about content. So we want to be able to give people a place to come to build content, at the same time build their confidence, build their skill, and all that. So it just worked out. Like, we found a creative space to do that, you know. And I was like, yo, let me take advantage of it. I don't know how long I'm gonna be lit and be able to afford this. So while I'm lit and I can afford this, I'm gonna let people enjoy that. That's my way of like giving back. You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta go out to the train and hit record and give bums money and do all that. I don't do that. Like that, I don't like doing that, right? So to me, that's a little corny, like showing that. So this was my way of like giving back. I know there's artists that can't afford to go pay $500 for a showcase. So if we can create something for them to come.
Sometimes that you know, sometimes it might. Sometimes you don't even think like how much that means to an artist. You know, that little time that they get to perform in front of somebody, like that might be the biggest thing that they might, you know, ever do.
Right.
To be honest,
pictures, the fact that
you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I mean?
The fact that I'm there, right? It would cost, if somebody booked me to judge their showcase, right, and it would cost them at least $3,000 to book DJ Drewski to come judge their showcase. Now they've got to pay me $3,000, so that means now they're gonna charge the artist an arm and a leg for them to come and perform in front of me. Where I was like, yo, just pop up. I'm actually here for free. Like,
y'all was doing different shit. Y'all was doing like workout classes there. Like,
during the day, Sky was like, it's all part of the hustle. So it was like, you know, I was actually there for the shows, and top of it, they free and you performing, and people did come up to me at the end like, yo, thank you so much for this. Like, I probably would have had no other opportunity to do this because I can't afford to go to the showcase you're hosting because I can't pay for it.
Right.
You know
then you got these showcases where the winners already picked. Like, they already knew who you know how many times, like Pat. Pat, we went to one, I forgot where it was at. It was in the city or whatever. And we went in there, whatever, and it was a performer in a wheelchair. I forget his name. Salute to him. No, nothing against him or whatever. And Pap said, you already lost. Like, he said, this is a nigga that's gonna win already. And he was right. Like, you already got it picked. So at the end of the day, these showcases. Let me ask you a question. A lot of these perform for A&R parties and shit like that. Are those scams? Because I really feel like they
No, it's not that it's scam. I'm not. Some of them are like, I don't know.
Because when I see them, I'll be like, do y'all Google the person that they say is the A&R?
No, I do them all the time.
But I see
I'm not saying me. I don't produce. I'm saying I host them or judge them all the time. And there's A&Rs.
Legitimate ones?
Yeah, legit A&Rs in the building. Like, these are people that sign artists.
Yeah.
So there is opportunity there. But like you said, do your research. Make sure you're doing the right ones. And I love showcases, to be honest, for new artists, because like we were saying before, if there's not a free place that Drewski has for you to come, you need to go touch the stages. You need to go. Like, there's no way. How you think you're just gonna get lit and perform at Summer Jam and your performance is gonna be good if you never performed before?
That's a fact.
Right? Because there's artists that might get lit and have the biggest song. And so if you have an opportunity to perform, do it so you could build yourself as an artist. So I always suggested, like, don't go in it to think like, oh, I'm gonna get signed by this A&R. If you get signed, perfect. But the fact that you could go perform, have your man go with you, film it, get footage, because people are watching too. Like they want to know what else you're doing. They want to see other sides of you. So I always suggest artists do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just like you said, if they charging crazy money, just make sure it's legit, right? But if it's $100, cool. Like you pop a bottle in the club is $300. You're not gonna pay $100 to go perform at a show and get content for your career. Like
that's a fact. That is a fact.
Exactly.
Don't think of it like that. That's a fact.
And that's what I was saying when we used to talk about it before we go. I used to say like, you know, like this is crazy. Like he's actually providing people with like if I was an artist, like I could have footage, you know what I'm saying? Like some sort of footage from some sort of performance or something like that. Yeah. And even if I wanted the cap, I could just throw that on Instagram. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something like this. So something that's free. So so I always told him like that was some crazy that's some crazy stuff you did, man. That's some good stuff. Not in a bad way, but you know, like most people don't do that.
Right.
Most people do it not for free anyway.
But when you do it, you gotta like learn from me too. If you're gonna do it, then it gets like out of control where artists feel like they can just pop up anytime now. It's like, all right, now y'all taking advantage.
Of course.
Now I gotta go.
That's what I was about to ask you. What made you close it? Is that part of the reason why you closed it? Like,
yeah, just the accessibility. And then I just didn't renew the lease once COVID hit because we couldn't do any shows.
Yeah.
So there's no point of having it if I can't utilize it. That's how I look at anything in life. It's like there's no purpose of you being around. There's no purpose of having something if I can't utilize it. So it's like, all right, cool. COVID hit. I'm like, all right, we got to go more digital. We got to do more things online. So it's like, let's find a spot where we can do that. And that's where we at.
New movement space. Is it movement space too? Is it same?
It's still movement space.
Call it that. Now, what's a few artists we should look out for? Like who's really like clicking to you? Like did you always, I gotta have this in the playlist tonight? Like a couple, like 3 artists
in the playlist
that's really booming to you.
If it's in the playlist, like in the clubs and stuff, like playing it now.
Like up and comers though. Like what's some of the up and comers that's really clicking?
You know, Free K Flock. He's one of the artists that got a big song. And then his camp, Be Love. Who else? There's so many artists that we work with that we're part of, like part of the team. Shout out to Pretty Deej, Mr. Mayo. Like these are all people that are part of the team.
So many, right?
But the K Flock, the Be Love, and one more. I need one more. I'm trying to think of a record does Capella Gray count or is he too hot right now?
We can count it.
Because Capella's doing his thing too. Dream Doll's doing her thing.
You always supported Dream Doll.
Right. From day
you always
one,
supported
like,
Dream Doll. That's fire. I fuck with Dream Doll too. Because we had the shit we was playing, and she always retweeted it whenever because I got it on like a rotation where I tweet out whatever song is played.
Right.
She always retweeted it. Like she fuck with it. That's my shit.
She works. Like we flew to Atlanta to shoot music videos, and she came. She ain't say Drewski buy me a plane ticket. She ain't asked for. I think the only thing they wanted was like a makeup artist. You know what I'm saying? And she thugged it out. The day of the shoot, it went all the way to like 5 a.m. and she had a 7 a.m. dentist appointment. So I was like, yo, I respect it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she's definitely one that works.
Some people don't even know she was on Bad Girls Club because I knew of her from that. And
that's what got her like hot.
Yeah. For the wrong reasons on that, but like she was on it. She was wild.
Right. And then she did Love and Hip Hop.
Yes, there you go. And she's fire though. She could rap.
Yeah, no, her songs are hard.
She dissed Tory Lanez. I'm like, she's biased. Like, she can rap.
He deserved it though, right? He was take shots at him.
He was wilding. Like the Beijing shit, I was like, yeah, you gotta stand down, bro. Leave it alone.
Yeah, he was taking shots at our girl Dream Doll.
Nice. So let's talk about the Hot 97 reality show. Why did that get a second season?
Why didn't it?
Yeah.
Did you watch it? If you watched it, then there you go.
I was entertained though. Like I was entertained. It was a funny show. Like
probably because you understand it, you knew the characters. Yeah. It was like a niche. Like right now, if it was on Netflix, then I could see it doing well because it has like a niche audience.
It was almost like The Office, but like
like a hip hop Office, right? But it's hard to make like that's a niche audience. Like when you know what I'm saying, hip hop and that type of comedy, it really don't. It's hard.
Did you enjoy watching it back? Did you enjoy it? It was like,
my little part, yeah. I thought I was hot because that was before I did TV though. So that was like, and I was like, oh, I'm lit. I'm on TV. Like I had little parts.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny, but it's hard to get people to understand that type of comedy. And but it was cool. I think it was worth it.
had they followed like a different network, you think it would have been more successful? Because VH1 is known for like the Love and Hip Hops, the shit like that. Like if they went to more comedic,
like a Comedy
Yeah, you
Central,
think they would've did
maybe
better?
it would have probably did better.
Yeah.
More like comedy driven network. But that's why I said like today, like if it was Netflix or Hulu and it premiered on that, I think it would do well on that or like a comedy comedy website.
I agree.
What's Will Ferrell's website? Something funny.
Is it? I don't know.
It's a big. He got a big network now.
Is that too funny? Right?
Nah, it's like It's
I know Kevin Hart's was laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well, if it was on something like that, you saying
like that,
yeah,
it might have done because the audience is looking for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I enjoy The Office. Like, and me and my wife, we watch The Office all day long. Like, we rewatch the shit. So, like, that falls right in that.
It was shot very similar to that. Yeah.
All right. So now, before I go to Love and Hip Hop, we got a few more questions. Before I go to Love and Hip Hop, I want to know, when did you meet Sky? Like, shout out to the beautiful Sky, your wifey. I mean, shout out, congrats on your child and all that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Congrats.
Baby girl.
There you go. Girl dad vibes.
Yes, sir.
I knew I was gonna. I'm like, all the dirt I did, I'm gonna get a girl. First one gotta be a girl. But I met Sky, and actually I met her in LA. I thought she was from LA, so I'm like, perfect. I'm on my player, player-ish. I'm like, all right, cool. She's from LA. Maybe I can have a chick in LA, one in New York, and she's like, nah. I just happened to find out she's from New York too. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And it just kind of was cool at first, and then built a relationship. Like we got like super cool, but it wasn't like all the ways locked in. And then I get like word that they reach out for Love and Hip Hop, but they're like, yo, are you in a relationship? So I'm like, it's really new, but to them that was perfect because they thought we wasn't really locked in. They thought that they could.
They was looking for something.
Yeah, so I had to go to her like, yo, I just got this opportunity. They want me to do Love and Hip Hop. I think I'm gonna do it. I just need a girl. Like you're the only girl right now. And she was like, at first she's like, nah, I'm cool. I ain't with that. I was like, yo, just do it. Trust me, there'll be opportunities. Whatever you want to do after that, we're gonna figure it out. So then she finally agreed to do it. And I think leading up to the show, we were together for like a year, but we bonded so well because I'm like, yo, this show is crazy. She knew, of course, everyone knows Love and Hip Hop. So I'm like, we gotta get to know each other. We gotta tell each other everything. This shit is gonna be crazy. And in 1 year, it felt like a 7-year relationship.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just as the way we bonded. So after we decided to do it, we did it because you gotta live through doing it. Then you gotta live through it airing and reliving it. You know what I'm saying? Once we got through those like 2 years, that might have been like the third year that I was like, okay, cool. She's the one. Like if you could get through a season of Love and Hip Hop without breaking up, you know what I'm saying? Like stick with her.
Make anything right.
Now, like Love and Hip Hop, I know everybody asks all this shit. Like, how's your time on there? Like, is it really as scripted as it looks, or do they really set the scenarios up to be played out how they play it out? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's not scripted, but it's definitely they create a scenario without telling you and kind of throw you in the mix.
Throw you in.
So it's like when you see people react in a crazy way or goofy way, that's how they decided to react.
So that part is real.
Yeah, the reaction is real. They don't tell you how to react. Now, because there's some people that are really like characters that you like, there's no way that's how they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see some of these women, you're like, damn, they really that ratchet. Yeah, they really that ratchet. Like,
I always watch it like, there's no way this is how niggas really be acting.
Or I feel like sometimes if you're already a little ratchet, but the camera's on, you're gonna go extra, right? So
gaslight you to do some wild shit.
That's another reason why you see some crazy stuff.
Why is Rich Dollars the go-to, bro? Like every time you can't figure out a storyline, the character goes, I had to holler at my nigga Richie D. Like, you was just in New York, now you in Miami,
right?
Now you in Atlanta. Like, why is
Richie's the man? Like he's the dude. Like,
shout out Rich, man.
He like 10 years in on it. Like,
he's from season 1, right?
Yeah. First, he was probably in the pilot before they even, like he's the
Shout
dude.
Out Rich, man. What made you leave? What made y'all say this? We good off this shit.
It was like Cardi left. You know what I'm saying? Once Cardi B left, it was like, do we even want to fight to go back on it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, yo, we did it already. I was satisfied. Like, cool. Good, I got my clout. I got exactly what I needed from it.
Right.
Now I'm getting booked in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut before that. Now I'm getting booked all over the country, outside the country. I'm like, oh, this worked.
Yeah.
Like, good. Let's go. We out. Like,
Did they
let's
offer
keep
you-
it pushing.
They
Let's
offer
keep
you
it
the
moving.
reunion? Did they pull up for the reunion?
Yeah, we did the reunion. That's
I
what
mean,
I
the
proposed.
new one now where it's like,
Oh,
the
no.
family-
No.
Alright, copy.
Yeah, nah.
Rocco, what you got? You got anything?
Not to get too personal, but we all dads here, so
No offense.
No offense.
How's the early part of dad life going, man?
Yeah, we
You know,
was
to
talking
always
about
to
it earlier.
Pick
Yeah.
the brain of new dads from the ones, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How's that going, man? How's that?
It's a beautiful thing. Like, I love it, right? But
Oh yeah, of
Okay.
course.
yeah, that shit
Yeah,
is
like that.
super motivating for me because I felt like I was in a place in my life where I needed some new motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Mhm.
like, all right, things are getting stagnant. Like, and she definitely got me motivated.
Yeah.
The only, the con, because that's the pro, but the con to it is when I get home from the club at 2 a.m.
No sleep yet.
She's wide awake, ready to
Waiting
go.
for you.
No sleep yet.
We call this, like, I call her Soli. Her name is Solar. And as soon as I walk in the
That name
house,
is fire.
I'm like, I'm here for Soli's after party because I know she's up to like 5:30, 5
Mhm.
every day. Like, even on the way here, when we
Yeah.
were driving here, wifey called. She's like, your daughter's sleeping, but she's gonna be wide awake when you get home.
As soon as you get home.
But she's blamed me. She's like, that's
Mhm.
from when she was in the womb. Like, you was coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning. So she's just adjusting to your time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but I was coming home going to sleep,
Right.
not coming
You
home to
can't.
turn up.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, but that's the only thing. But I learned because I used to sleep hours. Like, I'll sleep to noon. Now I'm up
How
super early.
how much sleep are you not getting nowadays?
I probably used to get like 10 hours. Now I might get like 4, 5 if I'm lucky.
But you make it work though. Like as a dad, you gotta tap into whatever's in there. You gotta
To
make
be
it work.
honest, I there's no time. Like, I just lost track.
It's a blur.
I don't know
Yeah.
when I don't know what time I don't even look because I'm like, I don't want to look and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and when I'm going to sleep and I wake up at 9 because then it'll just make me angry. Like, yo, I'm on 3 hours sleep. I swear to God, I don't even look no more. I don't even look at what time it is. Whenever I fall asleep, I
Mhm.
fall asleep.
Yeah,
But
whatever it is.
yeah, like, but that's the only thing is the timing. Like,
You gotta
everything
get the
else is cool.
co-parents, so like one hand watch the other. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
and we work on our own schedule, so that
Mhm.
kind of like helps too.
yeah.
And I enjoy it. I love changing Pampers,
Oh, yeah,
washing her
of course.
down, like
Yeah.
all that. It's cool to me. So
Now we got about like 5 more questions, but what does Sky got going on that we could promote? Like anything that we could tune into, look at, like any kind of like
no,
she-
not like content wise.
or product-wise,
Everything she got
anything, like,
going on
yeah.
is like her promoting another product.
Mhm.
So she been doing a lot of like the influencer marketing.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna promote the brands. They ain't pay me.
Right.
They pay her. So
What brands you into that you could promote? Like anything that you know of?
not nothing solid yet. But
They
we
cut the
we-
check. When they
yeah,
cut
we,
the
we
check,
work. We're working on some stuff. We working on
Yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But it's feeling good.
There you go.
But
Okay.
we I got like doing a show February 17th in
Mhm.
Jersey, like a concert where
Yeah.
I'm inviting artists to come perform and all that. So that goes down February 17th at Mr. East in Roselle.
go there.
Yeah. So if an artist wants to tap in and perform or whatever, they could go to theviralstage.com.
Theviralstage.com and tell them about the Movement Mondays. What you be doing with
Oh
the,
yeah, it's
review.
Movement Mondays as a live YouTube show
Mhm.
where we review, like, artists submit their music, we'll review it, critique it, give our feedback. We got the A&Rs who live with us in the chat. They're giving
Mhm.
their feedback. And then we've been getting a lot of special guests. Like
Yeah.
Nems came up, Fat
Mhm.
Boy SSC came up,
Mhm.
Fetty Wap came up, and he
Oh, man,
actually
wait.
picked, like, he heard something that we played
Yeah.
and worked with the artist. Like, after the show, he tapped in with the artist and they
Yeah.
got records together. So it was like, that's crazy. You submitted a record just to get critique. Fetty Wap just happened to be on the show. He
Yeah,
liked
he
it,
liked
and now y'all working together. Like,
Anytime somebody takes a day off, I'm trying to pull up. I need some. I need to judge some music, man.
nah, you always welcome.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro. You know that. All right, so Water. That was my single. I fuck with Water. Like that's one of my favorite songs that came out of that project. I forgot that you had dropped Seat at the Table, but you had 2020 Vision that followed after that, right?
Right.
And I know you close with Ron Suno and all that shit like that.
Right.
But Water, I felt like was a crazy club record, like real crazy. Now, break down Seat at the Table. Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna put an album out?
Just having relationships with
Mhm.
all the artists,
Mhm.
me growing and advancing as a DJ and expanding my brand. I just
Yeah.
felt like, in this time, you got to keep growing.
Mhm.
And as a DJ, what's the next step? You see how far like Khaled has taken it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, okay, now I got to get started on that journey
Right.
to even catch up to Khaled. You know,
Right.
and it was like, okay, who's in my network? You know, Lil Wayne, Justin Bieber, that's not in my
Right.
network.
Yeah.
But Dream Doll and Ruby Rose and Molly Brazy, who's on Water,
Mm-hmm.
that's in my network. So let's
Yeah.
go, let's work. And that was like, I like that record too. It just had a good vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. The bounce was crazy. Like it make you want to.
And at the time,
Yeah.
the girls weren't even as lit as they are today. So
Mhm.
when everyone is like jacking Dream Doll now or Ruby Rose now, is like, it makes me like, yo, see, we was on that.
Yeah.
That record was probably like a year and a
Yeah.
half ago. We did it 2 years ago at this point, you know, but we
Probably
already
right. Yeah,
recorded
2
it. You know
years
what I'm saying? Like it was already recorded 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So it shows like where our vision is, where you know where we at. And
Right.
Ron Suno, Ross Swish,
Mhm.
one's from Brooklyn, one's from the Bronx. They didn't even rock with each other. They didn't even they
Suno's
knew of
from the
each
Bronx,
other.
right?
Suno's from the Bronx,
Yeah, yeah.
and like to put them on a record together, and now they going to do a whole mixtape, like that's just
Fire.
off of that.
Off of that,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The 2020 Vision with Chef G and Sleepy Hollow. Getting them, you barely hear them do
Yeah,
features with
yeah.
with other artists. So for them to do it with a DJ, to me was like, you know,
Big time. Yeah.
it's
That's-
sanctioned. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
we
Mhm.
sanctioned. So it was like this the network, the energy, Coil Ray, before she was going crazy on TikTok. Boom, we had her on a record
Yeah.
with Sada Baby.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the energy. Like if I rock with you, we rock with each other. Let's work.
Now on the sentimental side, now like remembering artists that we lost this within the recent times, like the DMXs and the Pop Smokes. Like
Mhm.
I know you had close relationships with a lot of people. Like how did you, you know, how did that like how'd that impact you? Like and how'd you work through it? Because I know you feel like you lost family and shit. Like I know you was close
Right.
to Pop, and I want to get into that too. But like, what was like your reaction to it, and how you get through it, and how do you remember them, keep their names alive and shit like that?
Nah, like someone like Pop, when the artist passed, I don't look at it like an artist at first. Like with Pop, it's like,
Friend.
yo, this is a 25-year-old kid, not even 25, 20, 19. I don't even know how,
Yeah, Pop
like
was
19.
young, right? Pop was young. How old
I
was
think it was
Pop?
19. 20,
right? Crazy.
Like, yo, this is a 20-year-old kid.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that first,
Mhm.
before Pop Smoke, like this. And then you realize, like, you know, the pain his family got to go through and all that. And then it's like, yo, I was with him days before that happened,
Mhm.
and just being around him and him telling me his future. And, you know, he was so Brooklyn and slick with it. I could tell, I'm like, yo, you just trying to use me to get to Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was so cool with it. Like, Drewski, yo, hit Cardi B, tell her I got a record. I'm like, yo, I respect it. Like, by any means, he's gonna. So we just bonded. So to see him, one, a young kid, and two, you know, someone who was so motivated and that you could see his future, and he was setting trends. Like this whole drill thing
Yeah, oh, yeah.
wouldn't be as big as it was if it wasn't for Pop Smoke.
Him and Favi, I feel like
Right.
is really the reasons why it's where we at today with it.
But Pop was like the first one to
Yeah,
get
definitely.
a drill records on the radio and like streaming and charting, you know what I'm saying? And that just opened doors for everyone else.
Mhm.
So to see someone like him, a trendsetter, and that happens, it's a tragedy. Like it kind of like throws your whole energy off. Like
Yeah.
we're in the process of making the music. My first single off a Seat at the Table was a Pop Smoke song. That was the first song I made, was Pop Smoke and Little TJ.
Mhm.
And I'm like, damn, I can't put this out now. Like I wouldn't even feel right
Yeah.
putting it out. And it looks like it's using
You're
his
doing it
death to
right,
promote. Like,
right,
so
yeah.
we deaded it right away. But it was like, damn, like we have so much future ahead of us.
Mhm.
Not just him, but us together. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
damn, who would have known? Like today,
Mhm.
probably wouldn't. We'd probably be still touring or something. So it was
Yeah.
like, you know, it just throws your whole energy off. And when that happened, I'm like, I don't even want to do this album no more.
Yeah.
Like my
Nah, I
first
feel you.
record, the artist. So you know what I'm saying? But then I was like, what would Pop do? Nah, he would try to use everything he got to make this happen. And
Yeah, that's.
but you know, it hurts, but more like a person, not just as an artist.
Mhm.
Like forget all the music stuff. I knew him outside of the music stuff. So it was like, it's like losing a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you like, damn, and the world lost a great artist too.
I was watching some of the videos before he passed, man. Like he was in like what was it, like UK and shit like that, and they just really was just eating up the material. Like he's really enjoying life, and then it's like to just come get it snatched by like some hate and jealousy like that. It's fucking crazy. But you were you broke his records, right? Like
Yeah,
I remember he
first
gave you a plaque.
interview-
Like it was
First
fun.
interview, welcome to the party. First time on radio. I played it. He missed it. Like he ain't even hear it. He texted me like 10 minutes later, like, yo, you could run it back. Like that's not how radio works. You ain't Beyonce or Drake to play your record twice, right?
Shout out to Pop, man.
But even little things like that, like he would tell me like, damn, I didn't even know that. I learned from you, Drewski. I'm like, yo, you got to tap in with all the DJs too. Like, don't start feeling yourself. And he knew how to do that, like build relationships with people. He was like super advanced for his age. Because even when I met him, I'm like, yo, your voice is, how old are you? Like 28, 20? Like, nah, I'm 19. I'm like, nah. I thought he was just saying that because it was like the industry. Like, because his voice alone, I thought he was like 30 years old, to be honest. And then and then it's like, oh, he's really young. Like, he really is young. And then you hear stories that I didn't even know. Like the first time I met little TJ didn't know Pop Smoke as an artist. Pop Smoke was driving the car that TJ was in to come see me at the club in the Bronx. But they didn't know, like, TJ wasn't lit. Pop Smoke wasn't even rapping at the time. It just happened to, like, so you hear stories that's like crazy. That later on. It's like, yo, that's crazy.
Now, let me ask you a question. Like, when you hear Dusty Lil Kane, right, does it give you, like, the, damn, you sound like, and I know that's how Dusty talks, so it's not like he's trying to sound like him. It's just like, does it give you that, like, damn, it's like hearing Pop all over again, like in a good way?
Honestly, initially, when I first heard it, I'm like, yo, hold on. Like, hold on, right? The first time you hear it. But then, like you said, once you get to know Dusty and you're around him, and I'm like, oh.
He talks like that. Like,
yeah, you start thinking, was Pop inspired by that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you start thinking like that. Like, oh, he really sound like that. He talk like that, everything. And then you get to know him. So it's not, you don't take no offense to it. You just like, and then if you really listen, they don't rap exactly the same. They just happen to be from the same hood, say the same slang words, you know what I'm saying? Rep the same thing. So it kind of resembles it a lot, but he is his own person as an artist. And once you learn that, you're like, okay, cool. It's you know, it's regular.
And I got one more question right before I got one. You got anything else?
Just basically a future question. Like, what's the future hold for you right now in terms of like what you're building? What do you is there an end game basically?
Nah, it's definitely no end game, especially the way the whole industry changes and the world is changing. But you know, because we are on these artists early, like we can sit here and tell stories of Pop Smoke before he was rapping, and Lil TJ pulling up to the club, and A Boogie's first time on radio, and we were on it first.
Right.
You know, you're doing it out of love, and as that's your job as a DJ. But then you start realizing, oh, I'm getting these artists hot, and someone else is just snatching them up.
Yeah.
Where now it's like we're in the mind state, like, okay, cool. If we find something that we feel deserves a shot, or it could be the next superstar, we want to keep it part of the crew, like really part of the crew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And eventually, I think that's where it's going, like more production wise. As a DJ, still putting out the records, featuring other artists, but building our own artists as well.
A little stable of artists.
Right.
And stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all, any questions while we here, bro?
I thought he was gonna sit in.
What happened? He thought about it, man. Like, as somebody that produces the artists, like, what anything you got, like, it will be. Knocking over.
Drewski, I just want to thank you because you play one of my records. You know what I'm saying?
See, I didn't even know that.
You feel me? And
I don't even remember that.
He played the joint we did too. Like, he played a couple.
Two joints
shits that I ever had in my whole like rapping career. You know what I'm saying? I usually songwrite for everybody, but one of those records that I actually had my voice on, you played that shit, and I just want to salute you. You know what I mean? Thank you. And send me your email. I'm gonna send you the invoice.
You look like he's gonna cry. Like, Hood, anything from the other? You chilling? Anything good? I hear that.
We got Hood to come to Staten Island.
Yo, we got him. Yo, he wasn't here to pull up, but he pulled
only
up.
For the No Offense show.
All right, last question now. If you had to form a super group, right? 3 artists, one from the past, one from the present, and somebody on the come up. Who would you make those selections be?
One from the past.
Good question, right?
Of course, it'll be Big.
Okay.
But Hove don't count, but he's present.
But is he like he's God level?
So how about like let me think.
What you say, Hood?
He's present.
It counts.
But no, I go younger.
That's
I'll go younger. I just want to put it out there. Because you're saying a super group.
Super group.
But if we go younger, how about the I'm J. Cole? Does that count
as now?
Like
as
now?
Yeah, all right. Cole is now. So you got Big, Cole. And somebody on the come up.
Well, all right, take Cole out. Unless you want to keep him there, but I'm gonna put Drake. And we're talking now. Like
that's super group. That is super group shit. Yeah,
Drake.
So Drake is now. All right, so
Biggie,
Big Drake.
and someone brand new.
Brand new.
It's hard because you don't even want to put nobody next to them. Like
You the king of up and coming artists. So if anybody got,
can I be the artist? Like, can I, like if I'm producing a record, Drewski featuring Biggie Smalls and Drake.
No, you're Drewski featuring Biggie Smalls, Drake, and the
more.
newcomer.
See, dang, I try to get out of it. Who's like super duper nice? I can't.
How new we talking though?
I felt like he's talking.
Well,
brand
if we
unsigned,
talking Drake, anything below that criteria of artists falls in the new category. Like it's everybody, right?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so then
you talking about like someone no one knows type thing, like,
or not that somebody knows, but that's not on the radio on a consistent basis.
I can't because it's gonna gas them up. Or
sometimes they need that gas. You might like
featuring Biggie, Drake, and we're gonna leave that open for the next artist. Maybe they'll perform on the 17th at Mr. East at the viral stage concert.
There you go. And make sure you send music to the movement.
Yeah, they could go to the newmovement.com.
There you go.
To submit their music. They want
for Movement Mondays.
Right, but there's of course it's Drewski. There's a free option too. They could just send it in. It won't get critiqued.
But be fired. Don't send in some weirdo shit. Like
the problem is, Joey, that they all think they're fired.
They don't have friends. Like, yo, listen, that don't sound good. Like we all
you
know.
Can't tell the artist that they record is not
trash, but like you need to go back and remix that for you. Send it. You could say that. Like,
well, we say that a lot every Monday. We say that, but I'm saying initially when they're submitting it, they had. I feel like they all like, yo, this is my fireest record. This is the one I'm sending, right? But then when you submit it, that's the whole fun of it. Is like you get a reality check. You might get critiqued where you got to go back and fix something. So I think that's the beauty of us taking time out of our life to do that for artists too, right? Because it's not just the hour we're sitting there. What about driving to the studio after that? You know what I'm saying? All that time we take out to do this for the artist. And, you know, we had artists resubmit it. Like, yo, thank you so much. Look at how good my record sounds now mixed. So I changed this. And it's like, yo, it's perfect. At least somebody's listening.
I give you some flowers real quick. This show, no offense, wasn't one-on-one. I actually had a music review show. And I was inspired by your show. Because, you know, I've linked with you plenty of times. So I was like, yo, I like what they do over there. You know what I'm saying? I want to review music because I like music. And, you know, artists is a little sensitive.
Right.
So, which is why I named it No Offense. I was like, listen, if you get the reality check you was looking for, you will hear it here. But I want to give you credit because your show inspired my show and I kind of revamped it. But salute to you again. And
I'm glad we can inspire you. That's the whole point.
That's all it's about.
Right? If nobody's inspired, then I feel like I ain't doing something right. Like,
all right, so before we get out of here, can you drop your socials so they can follow you? I'm pretty sure they follow you, but
yeah, of course. There's people that don't follow me. That
Let's
I
make sure.
need them to follow me.
Can't front like they don't know.
It's Blue Check Drewski.
The easiest way is just on Instagram is at Drewski because DJ Drewski, someone jacked it. He posts like every 3 months just to be consistent. Because you know, like if you wait so long, Instagram could just take it. I think he purposely. I even offered him money one time. He's like, yo, I'm gonna think about it. And he still won't give it up.
He's waiting for the price to go up. Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yeah, nah, trust me. I ain't giving up nothing. I'm just going to stick to Drewski if he don't want to give it up. But hit me on Instagram. That's the easiest place. All the links are there. You can tap in.
I have one request, though. This is Reflex Radio. If I can get a drop from you real quick, it'd be 5 seconds, whatever it is.
Of course.
I appreciate you, brother.
Straight into the camera?
Whatever, yeah.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's DJ Drewski, Hot 97, the movement, heavy hitter DJs. You're now rocking with Reflex Radio. You know the vibes. We outside.
And that's how we do it. Another good show. We are out of here. I appreciate Drewski for pulling up. Very stand up. We are out of here.
Sci-fi life.
No offense. 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 No offense.